Hey everybody, welcome to the Abundant Joy Tarot. This is our day. I am happy to meet you. I'm about to do your extensive reading today and I'm very excited to get into it. I get really excited when I've prayed over it and pulled all the cards. I can feel the energy growing. So hopefully this will be a message or Spirit's messages for you this week. And hopefully this will give you some support in how to continue to move forward on your soul journey toward joy and abundance and love. If you have not yet subscribed to that channel, please go down there and click that subscribe button for me. I would love to have you join the community as I continue to try to grow the channel. And with that being said, I'm going to jump into your readings. There will be 3 sets of readings today with 3 crystals, and I'll go ahead and turn this camera around and get us going. All right. I hope you have a joyfully abundant week. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and enjoy. Okay. Bye-bye. Hello, beautiful pile number 1. If you chose the blue Aventurine and the deer card, this is going to be your reading. Now, I'll tell you all that there's something weird going on with the camera. I think I didn't get the angles right. So hopefully it will all come together, because when I did the pile picking, I think I did it in a different setting than I did now. So we'll see how it all comes together. But this is the reading part, and it should be set correctly. So hopefully all will come out well. And let's jump into your reading. So again, the reading today is talking about spirit messages for your soul journey for this week. It is a timeless reading. So whenever you find this, whatever is going on in your week, if it resonates with you, then it resonates with you. This is our day. If you have not yet subscribed to the Abundant Joy Tarot channel, please go down there and click that subscribe button, like and share. Drop a comment in there to let me know if things are resonating with you. I'd love to hear from you, and let's get started. So in looking at your week, we're going to be looking at a couple of different, the reading will be in 3 sections. The first section is we're going to be talking about what is the overall energy, environment, and current situation that you're dealing with right now. Okay. So the deer card is actually for the last section. So we'll look at that card at that time. So your tea leaf, you've got fair woman, dealings or relationship with a woman with blonde, gray, or white hair. So this could be someone at your work. This could be a friend or associate. For some of you, it could be a family member. But this is just, we'll see how this kind of gets played out with the rest of the reading. All right, so let's look at the tarot that you have for the current situation. And we pulled 2. Ooh, lovely. Nice way to start. Wow. Okay. All right. Pile 1. So you're starting right off in terms of looking at the current situation. So again, if this resonates with you in terms of what this week is, and again, we're looking at from a week standpoint here. So that's the time frame that we're looking at. If this resonates with you, this is kind of the significator of the reading. So if this doesn't feel like your current situation, then you may want to pop into one of the other piles and see if that resonates more with you. But what these 2 cards are saying, you've got the 10 of Cups and you've got the Emperor. Both are very strong, positive cards within the tarot. The 10 of Cups is actually that card of love, fulfillment, community. There, there's just sort of this sense of like coming together with joy and happiness. It's like what we kind of strive to at the end of the cycle of having emotional balance. So it lets me know that some of you may be dealing with a situation where you're actually feeling sort of in your joy, if you will, which thank goodness, I hope so. But some things have been working out. You're feeling fairly balanced. You're also feeling a sense of self-power, right? Because the Emperor is all about, he's a leader, he is strategic, and he is about success, okay? Success, abundance, and really maneuvering, he's got this chess piece. So he's the one who has got control of the board, if you will. Okay. So the Emperor has control of the board. So you may be feeling a bit empowered, and feeling like you're in a space of being in control of the board, being in control of your world in some way right now. Having various things that you're looking over, though, too, as the Emperor, there, with great power comes great responsibility. So you may also be feeling a sense of a lot of responsibility right now. Okay, this is within your current situation. Now let's look at the 2 oracle cards that we pulled for your current situation. Interesting. Okay, so you've got warning. All right, and crows have a tendency to be able to really send out a warning. What this card is talking about is having being mindful that there of messages of something not quite being right, something going awry. Now, the good news is that if you're in the space of the Emperor, you're going to be highly alert. You're going to be strategically moving. But even in your bliss, even if you're feeling a bit of joy, pile 1, it's important for you to be mindful of any warnings that may be in your environment. Okay. Sometimes when we're at the top of the podium, top of the tower, top of the pyramid, then we can be more of a target. So just to be mindful of the warnings. Okay, and this card, for those who are doing numerology, is 5-2, which is going to give you a 7. So it's a really interesting number to me. I feel like energetically, what I'm getting from this card, intuitively, what I'm getting from this card is that because this is a 7 and it's talking about warnings, that there's this sense of like an internal warning. It feels more like an internal warning, particularly next to these 2 cards of the 10 of Cups and the Emperor. It's like there is a sense of being mindful of what's going on internally, right? What's going on internally, and being mindful that your external environment is not affecting or infecting your internal world. Okay, so this card does indicate that the signs are around you, that something could be approaching, that you need to keep alert. Okay, so that's what I would say. It's just keep your attention needed on the areas that you think you need to be noticed. If you feel like maybe I need to check that again, check it. Okay, so it could be as simple as someone not paying you on time because they're that's supposed to happen, or someone not keeping an appointment that they were supposed to keep, or someone who's typically communicative not really communicating as much, right? So just be mindful. All right. And then your other card here is you've got exposed. Now, the story behind this card is that the little crow there is like a little baby crow, or like I forget what the baby crows are called, but like a little baby crow. And so usually the crows are very protective, but this little baby crow has somehow gotten out into the open. And it talks about this idea of being exposed. All right. So it's indicating that some of you may be feeling in your power, but you may be thrust into the spotlight, and maybe not particularly in a good way. All right. So I feel like both of these cards here from the crows is a bit of warning for you to stay alert, stay aware of your environment that's going on for you within this week. Even if you're feeling a sense of bliss and joy, I don't want to take you out of your bliss and joy. Okay. So stay 100% in your bliss and joy if that is where you are. But as the Emperor, understand that you need to continue to be strategic around your environment. Be mindful of if you are feeling vulnerable or exposed, okay? And make sure that you are being strategic in your planning so that you have the support that you need in various environments. So for instance, if you are going to have a meeting this week where there may be some tough players in there that you need to deal with. If there's someone that you can, that maybe has dealt with these people before, that you can kind of have a conversation with them about, or if there's some additional paperwork that you need to bring in, or, just kind of prepare yourself to continue to lead. Okay. And so this could be in a work environment. This could be in a home environment. This could be with friends, within your friend circle. Just being mindful of your environment, I think, is the key message that I'm getting here from Spirit. So this is what we're seeing in terms of your environment. If this does not resonate with you, like I said, check out one of the other piles and see if they resonate with you. I honestly think, because these are general readings, you have to see if it resonates. If it resonates, it'll really resonate with you. If it doesn't, leave it. It's a message for someone else, and go and find the message that is for you. And if you're interested in a personal reading, I do those as well, and you can just email me, and you find that information in the description below. All right, so let's go into the next phase of the reading, which is going to be about what key lessons are there for you on your soul journey for this week. What are the key lessons for you in your soul journey for this week? And I'm going to just kind of maneuver these cards over to the side and take us right into these next cards. All right, so for your tarot, for your key lessons, you've got the Seven of Pentacles. Interesting. Okay. And the Hierophant. Okay. So this is the Guardian of the Night tarot. So there's a lot of animal images in here. And it's interesting here because we've got a little spider. And this little spider has various webs that hold a prize for him, and he's having to decide. So the Seven of Pentacles is about choices. It's about having a lot of different options for you. Some of those options are going to be good options, and some of them are not going to be good options. And sometimes we can feel like we're kind of stuck with some of the options. All right. The other thing is that what's to be mindful of with the Seven of Pentacles, it also speaks of that you've been making progress, okay? You've been making progress, and it hasn't yet come to fruition, all right? And so there's a sense of, I wouldn't say frustration, but just a sense of waiting, like a sense of that things have not come fully into manifestation yet. So you may have been working on something. So one of your key lessons here is going to be, for the Seven of Pentacles, is going to be about patience. All right, because it's the Pentacles is about the 3D. Okay, it's going to be about this sort of plane, the material plane, and the Seven of Pentacles talks about waiting for the harvest to come in. And so there's if I'm looking at this in terms of what is going to be your lesson, it's going to be about patience. It's going to be about not trying to pull something before it has harvested. Okay. Being mindful of the creative possibilities, but having a sense of patience. Okay. Taking some time to reflect on all the work that's led you to this moment in time. All right. There may be a need to pivot, is what, is here. So the lesson here is flexibility and patience, okay? With the Hierophant, now the Hierophant talks about broadening your horizons, higher learning, but in a more traditional way, right? A traditional way, a more, it can be a little, sometimes come across as a bit harsh because it talks about following traditions and staying in line with traditions. But it also speaks about the higher learning here. It talks about tapping into the wisdom of the ages, or wisdoms of people who have come before you, okay? Who have done what you've done before you, okay? So it could be ancestral, but it can also be like if you're in a certain field, looking at those individuals that are mentors for you in a certain field, okay? And so I'm really getting a sense that these lessons may have to do with work for you all, that, even though we started with this Ten of Cups, which kind of threw me for a loop, in the Emperor here. So it could be in relationship, because we're talking about the situation being here, but I'm really getting strong work energy here, that this is about taking some time to reflect, and also looking for resources that can help you. Reach out to people that can help you. Reach out to people that are knowledgeable, who've done what you're doing before. Even if you feel like you're on top of the pile, this is actually a great time to reach out to other people, be like, hey, I'm doing this. I know you did something like this. What kind of obstacles, what kind of things did you come? Because now you're further along in whatever the project is, and they may have insight into an area that you haven't even reached yet. And so, it's something you may not have even thought of. And so I feel like that is one of your lessons here, is to actively reach out for that mentorship, that support to help you to move forward, as well as having a sense of patience on the projects that you're working on. They are going to come to fruition, and they're going to be very fruitful. That is what this card actually says. And that is also the energy that I'm getting here, because you've got this Emperor. Even though we're talking about current situation, I mean, this is a very strong energy to start the reading, a very positive energy. So it lets me know that you're on the right track. You're doing exactly what you need to be doing, beautiful pile one. But what is going to be important for you right now within this week is to think about being patient and reaching out and getting additional support, okay? Mentorship, gaining additional wisdom along the way. All right, now this card is also, both of these cards, these are your oracle cards for, interesting. Now I think she is fully dressed, YouTube. So head over here. Now this is interesting because this card is about someone having the key to your heart. So again, we're coming back to this love energy. I keep going career, but this may also be, some of you all may be dealing with a relationship energy here. So we're going to take a look at this. We're going to take a look at, you've got the dragonfly and the pansy, which is balance. All right. And then you've got head over heels. So we're going to dig into this and see how this relates to what is your key lesson for this week. I feel like part of what I'm seeing here with the dragonfly and the pansy is that it talks about balance. So there may be that some of you are, for this lesson for this week, is needing to balance your head and your heart, okay? And with the Emperor archetype here, that's a wonderful one to have because he is fully balanced. So sort of tapping into that. He can be a bit rigid, so less heart focused, but there's definitely some sense of balance here. This can also be talking about passion, right? So it could be, and it's not that I'm trying to run away from relationship, y'all, because if y'all are in a relationship or dealing with a love of some kind, and I'll talk more about that could be present here. But if this is dealing with the career thing, that these images that this head over heels can be this sense of like being so passionate about something that you are kind of falling over yourself to get to it, which would go back to this key lesson of patience. So that's one reading of this, but because this is a general reading, I feel like there's multiple things that are happening here. So this card of the head over heels is really asking you to tap into that energy, that fresh energy when you're first falling in love and you're head over heels and you've got butterflies in your stomach and you don't even know how to move, that kind of energy, right? There's that, Spirit is asking you to kind of like tap into that, right? To tap into that energy through this week. Now, the thing is that there's a need for you to have balance, right? Now, if this is in relationship to a relationship, then this card, in terms of your key lesson here in regards to your partnerships, is talking about do not lose the spark of that head over heels. Do something this week that kind of reignites that energy, that excitement, that fun within the dynamic that you're dealing with, so that you can kind of keep this Two of Cups alive, all right? Flaming, growing, all right? So doing something exciting, fun, different, surprising, whatever it may be, is going to suit you in this week. Now, in regards to If it's a career situation, then I believe this card is really speaking to like refinding your passion in what it is that you're doing in your creative work, and focus in on that energy, that excitement of doing the next thing that you want to do, the ideas that you're generating. Because what's lovely about this card, the dragonfly and the pansy, and when it talks about balance, it talks about the balance of thought. This card talks about the harmony of thought and action, aligning what it is that you do with what you say and what you think. Okay. So it's like having that total balance of thought. Okay. So there's that is a beautiful energy here. You know, it says, like a dragonfly hovering above water, you are healthy and confident. Your physical skill is matched by your mental and emotional strength. So some beautiful keys and lessons for you all during the week, pile number 1. So you've got this sense of patience, this sense of reaching out to gather knowledge and mentorship from someone who has gone along the path that you're trying to go on. And that can also be the case if it's in a relationship, then we're talking about patience. If we're, if we're talking in a relationship, then we're talking about, reaching out to others who have had more longevity. How do they do it? How do they keep infusing the passion into that situation? If it's a work relationship, if it's a work dynamic, then it's the patience there and reaching out to the mentor and infusing the passion. But there's a real sense for your lesson this week on your soul journey is about balance, I think, overall, in terms of balancing your thought, your action, and your word. All right. So that's beautiful. I think that's a beautiful lesson for you all for this week. And then now we're going to take a look at what is your superpower and key or keys to sort of help you, right? Because we were looking at lessons, key lessons. So now we're going to be looking at what is your superpower, your keys to help move you through the week, as well as guidance from spirit. All right, so let's take a look. Your tarot that you got. Okay, so you got the Muse of Emotions. You have a very balanced reading, part 1. This is a really lovely reading for like a weekly reading. And the Sun. I mean, that is really, really gorgeous. So what I'm seeing here in terms of your superpower is, I love that you've got the Emperor in the beginning, and then you've got this Muse of Emotions. The Muse of Emotions also represents kind of the King of Cups. And so the King of Cups, or the Muse of Emotions, is really talking about this really strong balance of emotional intelligence, emotional understanding of self, right? As well as the understanding of the emotions of others, right? So being able to read the room, if you will, emotionally read the room, and then react appropriately to the room. Okay. So your superpower for the week is going to be your insight, your intuition, your third eye, your sensitivity, if you will. And what I mean by that is like your awareness, your ultra sensitivity to your awareness of your environment, which goes back to what we saw in the beginning, like this warning and expose, making sure that you're being watchful and alert. Allow yourself to respond to how you feel. Okay, pile 1, because that's one of your superpowers to help you to have a very successful, joyful, and abundant week. And then you've got the Sun card, which is gorgeous. I mean, it is joy, happiness, hope, renewal. It's being in your solar plexus power, right? Your power center. Okay, very radiant. So I feel like in terms of your superpower for the week, not only do you need to tap into your intuition and your emotions and really listen to your feelings and the awareness that you have, but your outer the way that you show up in the world should be as if you are the sun. Okay. So to really step into your joy and happiness and positivity and optimism, and let that be what leads you in your week. Okay. Let that be what others see in you in the week. And hopefully you are feeling deeply throughout, right? But even as you're having to navigate a warning or feeling exposed in a way that you weren't quite ready for, do it with a smile, my loves. Do it with a smile and do it with an inner sense of happiness and a connection to your own inner feelings. Okay, to your own inner feelings. Walk in your truth this week. This whole idea of harmony, of balance, the balance of thought, mind, and action. Be in your joy, show your joy, express your joy, walk in your joy, okay, within this week. And that is going to be your superpower to help get you through that. Now, let's look at the guidance from spirits, the overall guidance from spirit. Look at that. You've got a lot of love energy. And then look at that beautiful card. You've got turn over a new page. Let love lead the way for change. So there's a couple of things coming up for me here. Like, okay, so this love card, I love this Wild Rose Fairy. She represents unconditional love, all kinds of love, you name it. Love, she's all about it, right? But she really, because this is the overall guidance from Spirit, I feel like Spirit is saying like, you started out the week in this space of love, because it's like this 10 of Cups is just like an overflow of love, so much love that you're able to give to others, right? And Spirit is asking you to stay in that space of love. So no matter what comes up for you this week, even if you get some information, you're like, oh, something's coming down the pike that I'm not really wanting to deal with or have to deal with, you are all of a sudden thrust into a situation that you did not expect to be happening. You need to center yourself and walk this week grounded in love. Okay, don't let yourself be knocked off of this sense of love, because this Rose Fairy is really all about this unconditional love. Now, this turn over a new page, this is coming from the Sufi Wisdom Oracle. And it says, let love lead the way for change. Okay, this card talks about, and I think it's just a beautiful card, but it talks about this idea of possessions and belongings that can cause a restraint or make you feel burdened in some way. And the card itself actually calls for you to pause, reflect. Are you headed in the right direction? Are you happy with your progress? It talks about letting go of fears and concerns. The main message here is for you to focus on and gain enjoyment from your personal connections. Open your heart to love and embrace any opportunity to connect with people, whether they are potential partners, friends, or business associates. Initiate a meeting with someone who could be influential in some way, right? So Spirit is also, what am I trying to say? Spirit is connecting us back to what we were talking about earlier in terms of connecting with that mentor, connecting with someone who may be further along, connecting with influential people that may be able to guide you, that we got in the Hierophant card earlier, okay? So this is saying that your mantra for this week should be, I am opening my heart to give and receive more love. The more you can connect with your friends, neighbors, partner, lover, and the people you meet, the happier you will be. Okay, so this week for you all is all about connection, love, happiness, and joy, which I am all about. So I think it's just for you all, it's about being mindful, staying alert, but leading with love. All right, I think that's a beautiful message, y'all. And I hope that you receive something here. Oh, I almost forgot your other superpower here. So this was one of your superpower or keys or guidance from Spirit, and that is going to be the Deer card. And deers are to me are also very magical, balanced creatures. Okay, they are intuitive, they are loving, and they are graceful. So I think it's actually a great animal spirit to be sitting over this particular reading. Okay. This card, when it's this animal, when it's imbalanced, is about being receptive, compassion, nurturing. Okay, so the deer can sometimes represent the feminine aspects, but that's really talking about whether you're feminine or male or masculine, however you identify. It really just talks about that energy, and it kind of goes back to that intuition that we were talking, opening your heart to love. There's a sense of receptiveness for overall for this reading, whether you be male or female. Okay. And so this deer energy is kind of walking with you right now within this week about tapping into your intuition. They're keenly alert, the deer. So there's another reminder of being watchful and alert. They know when danger is coming, and they're able to kind of make their quick move when they need to make a quick move. But they're also a very still animal. So that's kind of the final message there. But I just think overall, you've got a really beautiful reading here. And I hope that you found something that will support you in your week. Thank you for joining into the Abundant Joy Tarot. This is our day. And I will see you in your next reading. Have a joyful, abundant week. Bye-bye. Hello, Pile 2. If you chose the Tiger's Eye and the Wolf card, then this is going to be your reading. And as a reminder, we're talking about spirit messages for you, for your soul journey for this week. And it is a timeless message. So if you find it at any time and feel pulled to it, then there should be a message for you for your week. So that in mind, we're doing 3 parts to this reading. The first part, we're looking at the overall energy or current situation, environment that you're in. And then we will look at what might be some key lessons for you for this week to move you forward on your soul journey toward joy, love, and abundance. And then finally, we will look at your superpower or any keys that might be available to you, as well as spirit guidance for the week. So that being said, let's jump right in. Welcome to the Abundant Joy Tarot. This is our day. If you have not yet subscribed, please click that subscribe button down there. I'd love to have you as a part of the community. And let's get started. So first, as I said, we're going to look at what is the current situation, what is, the environment and overall energy. So that in mind, your fortune tea leaf card here is something important, such as a new job or raise, the bag. Okay, so something is coming in. You're gaining something in this week. Something important. So we'll see how this gets played out in the rest of the reading. But I think that's good energy to start us with. And then we've got your tarot for the overall environment. Woo, lovely. The Sun and the King of Cups. Okay. It's interesting because pile 1, there's like sort of emotion and like this good energy to start. But the Sun is such a beautiful card. It really does speak of the radiance that you can see in this picture, joy, happiness, balance. I also see it as sort of like warmth and light, all the qualities of the sun, this sort of inner ray that comes from the inside out and shines out on everyone, and so therefore affects everything, because we know that what we think about inside is what we create in our reality. And so the Sun card is like this idea that the sun is within you and it is radiating out, and other people feel your warmth and they're drawn to you and all of that. So it's just a beautiful card in terms of what might be in your current environment. Now, you've also got this King of Cups energy, so it makes me feel that some of you are feeling balanced emotionally. The King of Cups is known for having an intense emotional intelligence as well as a heart chakra that is open to receive and open to give. The King of Cups is also abundance. He is a king. Okay, so he has the things that he needs to be able to have joy and peace in his heart. But the main thing about that King of Cups is that balance of emotional energy, knowing himself well enough and knowing others well enough being able to pick up on the emotional energy around him and use it to navigate himself, to success. Okay? So it's a beautiful, beautiful energy. And this is a great way to start in terms of your environment. Now, as I'm going to pull 2 other cards for your current environment, but I want to say, if this doesn't feel like what's going on in your environment, then you may want to check out one of the other piles. But this is the energy for the current situation, the current environment. Okay, so you've got bond and rain. Okay, so this is really talking about those kinds of soul connections, like a bond. Now the bond here, in this card, it can often talk about like a soulmate, a bond, a relationship bond, but it also can be a bond that basically takes you out of like the human experience, whether that be a bond to your career, a bond to a creative endeavor, a bond within a family unit, a bond within a new love or old love or a medium love, whatever it may be, but that strong bond connection that takes the feeling inside of you to something outside of this world, like so more cosmic, karmic. I hesitate to say karmic because people often think of karmic as like a negative, but just that there's a deeper bond, right? A deeper bond than the superficial bond that you may have. And so I feel like there's a lot of energy here around. We've got the King of Cups here with the emotions and relationship. And then we've got this bond card that makes me think that some of you are dealing with, relationship at this time, but in a very beautiful way. Now, the other thing is that this rain card, now this can talk about, some of you may have been feeling some stagnation, okay? Whether it be within this bond, within this connection. Now, remember, this is a general reading. So as I said, the bond can be your bond to your creative work, to your actual, work, your career, your family members. All right. But in that bond, what I'm understanding is that some of you have been feeling some stagnation, like the kind of stagnation that you feel when it's been raining for a couple of days and you've sort of been like kind of huddled down inside, and there's that sense of like the energy is kind of like stale and everything's sort of stuck. Well, sometimes we get that in relationship, right? We get that in whatever the relationship, work relationship, love relationship, family relationship, okay? At any time, you can get to a place where there's a bit of stagnation. But this card here talks about, you can see the rainbow here. So there's this sense of like a stagnation or a stall or block or some kind is coming to an end. And so because we're talking about the week here and we've got this beautiful energy of the sun, it's almost like it feels to me when we've got the sun and then you've got the rain. So some of you all may be having this experience, but the good news is you've got the rainbow that comes after the rain. And sometimes the rain is good, especially those rains where the rainbow comes after it, because it's like that rain has washed away something that needed to change, that there needed to be a shift, there needed to be a movement. And so it opens things up. It opens the flowers up. It opens the ground up. It cleans out the air. Right? So that stagnant air that might be around some of the relationships and things that you're dealing with this week can be flushed out and a new opening is coming. This card is a very positive card because it talks about that it's clearing away something old and it's bringing in a new energy, and this doesn't have to be a new person. It's just like a new energy within that stagnation, right? So that things are able to then move forward with a new light of day. Okay, so this is the situation that I'm seeing you're in. And then in that, you've got this idea of that something important is happening. Something is going to possibly be revealed or given to you in some way. And I feel like it's in connection to this. Or it may be that whatever this is that's in this bag is what I'm hearing is will be the catalyst for the rainbow. right? For that new energy to come after the stagnation has been able to be cleared. Okay. Yeah, so this is what I'm seeing here for the current situation. It looks like we're dealing with some type of relationship of some kind, some type of bond, right? And again, so it can be a relationship to person, place, or thing, any type of person. But since it's a general reading, that's what we're looking at. All right. So now let's take a look at then, given the energy that's going on right now for this week, what are going to be your key lessons for the week? So in looking at your key lessons, and I'm going to move some of this over so that we have space to look at your key lessons. Okay. And then your tarot for your key lessons, you've got justice. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So justice is like karma. It's like everything in the universe is, is balanced, right? You've got the scales here. So there's this sense of like, if you are in the right and have been you've been wronged in some way, that there's a sense that the universe is going to make that correction. Now, it also works the other way around, so that if you have been acting out in a behavior that is unjust or is unjust, then karma is going to balance those scales. So it just depends on where you fall in that dynamic as to whether or not justice is one of those cards. I tend to like justice, but I think it's a very positive card because it's about balance. It's about bringing things back into harmony and bringing things back into balance, right? And then you've got the Seven of Wands. Now that's interesting because the Seven of Wands often talks about, this is speaking of twofold. Okay, so my first thought on the Seven of Wands is it is usually about protecting oneself. It's just like people are coming at you in a certain way and you need to stand up for yourself, protect yourself, speak your truth, know what it is what you believe and hold true to that. Okay, hold true to what you believe. The other part of this card, though, here is, are you holding too tightly? So it's kind of a duality here. On one level, you really do need to stand up for yourself, protect yourself. If you are in the right, if you really feel that your position, if you will, is where you need to be. But there is also a sense of, do you need to come closer to the water's edge? Are you protecting your shoreline when you don't need to protect your shoreline? You need to have community to come forth. And I feel like that's coming up for me because we've also got this wolf card here. Now, this wolf card, the wolf is about, they're running in packs. So they're running in family. And there's this sense of like, if you are the leader of the pack, the positive part of that is this sense of protection, this sense of being a protector, of being strong, of being, guided. The negative part of that is going to be being stubborn, right? Being stubborn, being stuck, being the one way, my way or the highway kind of thing, like that sort of one way that things need to be. And there's a need for a bit of flexibility. So with that in mind, because my eye keeps getting caught back to the wolf card, it's making, I look at the Seven of Wands and then my eye's drawn to the wolf and then drawn to the wolf. And so I'm just getting this sense that and also there's this sense of balance in this card, right? It's like crossed right across the middle. And there's this sense of like, yes, you need to stand up for yourself. You need to stand in your power. You need to protect yourself. But it's also like these alligators almost look like baby alligators. And it's like, are they really going to harm you if you just allow them to come up on the shore with you? So there's this sense of like being mindful. So we're talking about, getting back to what we're talking about here, we're talking about your key lessons for the week. So I feel like the key lessons that we're seeing here is, one, with justice, making sure that you're being balanced in your decision making and in your communication throughout the week. Really having a sense of fairness, right? A sense of balance in the way that you're approaching your week. And then with the Seven of Wands, the other lesson here is how can you protect yourself and be open to community, right? That's what I'm getting from this card, which I don't normally read the Seven of Wands like that, but that just intuitively, that is what I'm seeing in terms of your lesson, is that it aligns with this sense of balance. What do you need to know in terms of balance? Now let's look at your other two oracle cards for your key lessons here. And you've got the Quail and the Gooseberry, which is about anticipation. And this card also speaks about preparation. Okay. It talks about how gooseberries, I've never eaten a gooseberry, y'all, but gooseberries apparently are a very, very yummy treat, but you have to be careful because you have to pick them with care because you can hurt yourself if you're picking gooseberries. Okay. So, and it's like that because there's a delicate fruit in it. So it's protecting the fruit within the gooseberry. Okay, so with that in mind, this card says that there is an event or outcome that you have anticipated that's about to occur. Okay, but it's asking you to take advantage of your knowledge that it was coming, to be prepared for what's to come. Okay, so there's a sense here, this card also brings me back to the Seven of Wands, this sort of sense of protection and preparing yourself for what may be to come. Okay, but also having a sense of harmony and balance. And then you've got, okay, so you've got this Commune with Nature card. Now there's a couple of things that come up with this. This is an interesting looking card. Look at that. So she's got that third eye just sitting right up there on her forehead like that. But okay, so what this is saying to me is that from an intuitive side, you need to, and even the way she's holding that book is like, okay. All right. So the multiple things are coming to me around this card. So the first thing I will say is that in terms of a key lesson for the week, one of the things that you need to do is, when we feel like we need, like, things are getting too intense or things are getting too heavy, one of the things that people will say is, I need some air. Okay. And that's because we as human beings also need to be connected to nature. So there's a sense with this card, it's saying commune with nature. And there's a sense of like pulling away from like devices, phones, computers, whatever various devices you may have, and getting in touch with like, a book, actually, like a book, a hardcover book, or the outside, like the actual trees and leaves and, if there's water near you, or walking in the woods in some way, so that you can think and prepare yourself for what is upcoming for you. Okay. The other thing that this card is really telling to me is that your other key lesson for the week, aside from stepping out into nature, having a sense of balance, protecting yourself, preparing yourself, is to use your intuition, use your third eye, your sense of what is coming. And you've got this King of Cups over here, which is a balanced individual emotionally. Use that as a tool to be able to help you to navigate through the week. So your kind of key lessons here is about, tapping into your intuition, allowing yourself to get connected with nature, okay? Being mindful of what it is that's going to be coming down the pike and not rushing in too fast to like get to the fruit, right? Because you don't want to hurt yourself. So just take it slow with your steps and be balanced in your thinking, okay? Balanced in your thinking. So those are the key lessons that I'm seeing for you all for this week. And so now we're going to look at the last part of the reading here, which is about what are your superpowers, your magic, if you will, to help guide you through the week, as well as your guidance from spirit. Okay. And you've got the Page of Emotions. So we're coming back to this whole idea of your intuition. We started with the King of Cups, which is, okay, so Page of Emotions is going to be like the Page of Cups. Okay. And so the Page of Cups talks about a message of love. And there's this, it's interesting because in pile number 1, there's this sense of like one of their superpowers is really leading with love. And I felt like that is here too. It's like that one of your superpowers this week is like carrying with you a message of love throughout the week as you're maneuvering through some of these unexpected things, or not unexpected for you, but anticipated events that begin to unfold, right? This sort of sense of balance that you need to have, but walking and tapped into your emotions and being ready to carry that cup of love with you, okay? To carry that cup of love. And then you've got the Star. Okay. The Star is a beautiful energy in terms of having it as a superpower, right? Because the Star is like you're being noticed, you're being seen, you're being, it's also a card of healing, okay? Of connection. It's like what I keep hearing is know thyself, right? This sort of sense of self-love, right? There's a lot of love here. So in terms of your superpower for this week, I feel like your superpower is 1, this sort of sense of cup of love. B, this you have a magnetism about you during this week that you can leverage. Now understand that magnetism can pull all things, right? So it can pull both the positive and the negative. So you've got this sort of 7 of Wands around this protection piece, but your superpower is the actual act of being able to magnetize those things to you. So this is why it's really important, pile 2, that you lead with love and that the vibration that you're sending out is love. So what you're magnetizing back to you is love, okay? That's why these are really nicely flowing together in terms of what your superpower is or your key to help you to have a joyfully abundant week, all right? And then in terms of your messages from Spirit or your guidance from Spirit, you have got, well, look at that. You cannot make that up. You got the Wolf again. I'm definitely going to talk about that and read on that. And then you've got fine wine. Longing is the portal to wholeness. Now, this is interesting because it talks about this it talks about the masculine and feminine side of love. And it talks about how the feminine is like this, sort of this longing energy. Okay. So this card is talking about this sense of longing for love. Okay, so some of you all may be feeling a sense of longing for love, or if you're sort of in relationship, there's like an energy. It's like the feminine energy of, well, it's interesting because you've got the Star here. So it's like the feminine energy of like, it is longing, but longing also has this connotation of like loneliness, right? Or negativeness, which some of that this card is actually speaking to, because it talks about transmuting that energy into more of what we see here in the Star, which is a magnetism, right? Which is allowing your longing to be that thing that draws in what it is that you need to fill you. Okay, so it's that feminine energy, right? It's that idea of it's okay to be in that space of longing because you are a magician, and so you can transmute that longing into a pull, a vibration that brings what it is that you're longing for into you, okay? So in regards to your superpower, what I'm getting here is that your superpower is within the transmutation of taking that what you're longing for and focusing on already having it, already having that longing, whatever it is. If it is for love, because you've got some beautiful energy here. If it is for a shift in the way that you love or an intensity, a stronger bond, or being able to move away from the stagnation that you may have been feeling within connection to someone else. that your superpower for this week is about transmuting that into a magnet, right? A magnet or a magnetic pull toward bringing everything into you that you desire. And the way that you do that is to focus not on the longing, but to focus on that which you are longing for, as if it is already yours. What does it feel like to have it, to embody it, to know it? Okay? Feel that 100% down to your core. Okay? And that is your superpower for the week. All right. And your guidance from spirit, because the star is your superpower for the week, and then this fine wine is the guidance from spirit, and the spirit is really talking about transmuting your longing. Okay, that is the message from spirit, is transmute your longing into that which you desire. Okay, and the other thing is you've got this wolf spirit, so you've got the double wolf spirit here, which is it's just the synchronicity of how spirit pulls out these, readings is amazing to me. So the wolf spirit talks about family. It talks about bonds. It talks about connections. And it says support is all around you, even if you are not aware of it. Release the belief that you have to do it alone, because you don't. This is the time to heal any rifts within your family or deep connections, soul connections, to move out of this stagnant energy and move toward that rainbow. Give encouragement to those in your soul tribe or your family or your community, and allow yourself to be supported. Okay, so that is what the wolf spirit is speaking to. And that's the wolf spirit is overarching your whole week here, beautiful pile 2. So I think this is a lovely message for you, and I hope that something resonated for you. If you like the readings that you're getting, please go down there and click that subscribe button. Drop a comment if something resonates with me. I'd love to hear from you. And also, if you have any suggestions for readings that you'd like, I'd love to hear that as well, as I kind of get the plan for what we're reading on next. So that being said, thank you for joining the Abundant Joy Tarot. This is going to be what I see for you today, pile number 2, and I will see you in your next reading. Okay, bye-bye. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to the Abundant Joy Tarot. If you chose the Magnesite crystal and the Dragonfly card, then this is going to be your reading. So we're going to hop right into this. The reading for today is going to be in 3 parts. So we are investigating spirit messages for you on your soul journey for this week. So this is a timeless reading. So whenever you find this, if you feel drawn to it, then it's going to be for your week. So that being said, we're going to look at 3 different sections. First, we're going to look at what is the overall situation, energy, environment that's around you right now. That will be kind of a significator for you. So if you chose this pile and I go through that and you're like, that doesn't sound like anything that's going on with me, then it might not be your message, and you should either check out one of the other piles, or it might be another reading for you. So remember that this is a general reading, and so take what resonates with you. Okay, if you're interested in a personal reading, please feel free to drop me an email at abundantjoytarot@gmail.com. I love doing personal readings. They're in detail, in depth, and we're able to kind of really dig into your specific issues. But this today is a general reading. All right, so let's hop in. We're going to start with the first couple of cards that are going to look at the overall energy, current situation, and environment. And the Dragonfly card, which is the card that kind of led you in, falls into the 3rd section of the reading, which is your superpower, your keys, and your spirit guidance. So in case I didn't go through those, just quickly. First one, current situation, environment. Second set of cards will be your key lesson for the week. And then the 3rd set of cards will be your superpower and spirit guidance. All right, let's see what we got. So, starting off, unsuccessful plans, the knot. Okay, not. So something has gone awry in your world, and you are either currently conscious of it or you're about to be conscious of it. Okay. It doesn't necessarily mean that knots can be unknotted, if you will, but there's something that has gotten tangled up. And so let's see if we get some more information about what this looks like for you, for your current situation. And you've got the Six of Cups. Okay, so this is about nostalgia. This is about your past. It could be about people in your past and family. It also talks about, okay, so you've got the Page of Pentacles. This is really interesting to me because okay, so what I'm getting off of the Six of Cups, it talks about nostalgia. It can talk about the inner child or your childhood, lessons that you learned there. And there's this sense of that something in your past, because we've got this idea of the knot, that something in your past has got you tangled up, okay? And sometimes we can get tangled up by by ideas that we're carrying forth from our past, by some stories that we have told ourselves about who we are, how we need to walk, how we need to think, how we need to speak, etc., etc. Either stories we've told ourselves or others have told us about ourselves. And that can keep us in a knot. It can keep us from moving forward into new spaces and new things and dealing with new people. All right. So because you've got the Page of Pentacles here, the Page of Pentacles is a beautiful card that talks about newness coming into your life, new opportunities, new projects, new tasks. It's just such a beautiful energy, this Page of Pentacles. It talks about your own ability of manifesting beginnings, skills and training, financial opportunities, new connections, all right? But there's something about something in your past pulling you back, and sometimes, honestly, like our past can have such joy, such good memory, as well as the negative energy as well too. But even the positive can cause us to limit what might be possible. If we, for instance, believe that, nobody in our family has ever done X, Y, and Z, or we just don't do that, then it can put a barrier around what's possible for you. Okay. And so that's what I'm seeing here in terms of what this knot is speaking to, and in terms of what's possible for you right now. It feels like there's something going on with your past. It could also be a past person that's come back into the scene. I'm going to fix our candle. So I'm going to pause that. Okay, so that's interesting because you all are pile number 3. So, it makes sense that maybe the candle has gone down. But it was interesting to me that as I was speaking about your past and what might be involved, as soon as I saw the candle went out, and then I paused the video to change the candle, but Spirit was still speaking to me. And what I received was that some of you are dealing with a situation, either somebody has recently passed and that's affecting you, or it has to do with, the situation has to do with the beliefs, connection or disconnection from someone, and I'm getting in your family, but that could be your soul family as well, but like your family, that someone who held a heart space for you, that has now passed, has gone to the other side. Okay. And so with that in mind, I just also want to add, Spirit is saying that there is healing that we can do within ourselves, within our own hearts, within our own being, whether or not we can do that healing with the individual. if they're no longer here. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a negative situation, although in this particular situation, I feel like if the connection wasn't negative, because the connection might not have been negative, but what you're carrying from that is holding you back in some way. Okay. It could be a belief that you need to do something or work in a certain way or not to do something because this individual, for the sake of this individual. Okay. Because it's a belief that they held, or it's something that you were taught, or something like that there's something in your past. So I guess what I would say is that within the current situation, you need to, if this resonates with you, because this is a general reading, if there's something that you need to look at in your past and allow yourself to gather a new perspective. If for some reason there are new opportunities that are coming up from you that you are feeling like you're holding yourself back from. And sometimes we're not even fully conscious of what it is that we're doing, y'all. So it's important for you to take stock, if you will, take a moment to reflect, pause, and figure out what's going on right now. Because I feel like I'm really getting a strong sense of like heartbreak, right? A sense of heartbreak, a sense of loss, a sense of grief, and a sense of moving from that space rather than moving from a healed heart space, making decisions from that space rather than moving from a healed heart space. So I hope that makes sense to you. That's what is coming up for me. And so if that is the case, that's what the situation is here. Now it's interesting because the dragonfly is the thing that's now, and we'll talk about the dragonfly more when we get to that section. But I just want to say, like, the dragonfly, one of the main things about the dragonfly is their flexibility and adaptability to be able to switch directions. Okay, so Spirit, I feel like is pointing me to that, to say, like, forgive yourself. Give yourself the space to be all of who you are. Like, what you know to be true for you is what you need to do. Okay. And ultimately, understand that when people move to the spirit realm, they have a much broader view of what's possible. So what they may have believed or said within this realm, they wouldn't say right now within the spirit realm, because now they can, their eyes have been opened at another level, you see. And so something that they may have had a bias around, or something that they may have really struggled with here that kind of blinded them in some way, or, caused them to say, oh, well, it has to be this way, that way, this way. Okay. They may not do that. So what you have to do to live your life to your fullest is to follow the callings of your heart, because the divine is speaking through you. Okay. So it's not that we don't treasure and learn from and hold on to the nostalgia, to the memories of our childhood, our inner childhood, or, the people who have touched us or influenced us in any type of way, whatever those relationships might be. But it's imperative that you follow your own heart and follow your own heart space, and do take advantage of the opportunities that are there for you, even if someone in the past may have looked at it differently when they were walking this plane. Okay. Or even if there's somebody from the past who's on this plane who would look at it differently. Okay. So that's what I am getting with that. Now, so we've got two other cards here. Okay. Okay. Protection. Look at that. And curiosity. Okay. Okay. So this card, this protection card, this talks about the way that crows kind of envelop their heart space. Right now, this is like a little egg here. You can see that, but and they're kind of protecting it. But what this represents is sort of like protecting your heart space, like hovering over it. It's twofold. So one is that you need to protect your own heart space. Okay. And the other thing is that this card is actually spirit saying you are not alone, that you are covered and protected. Ooh, I'm feeling kind of, I felt that. That's kind of emotional. For those of you who have had, for those of you who have had loved ones that, as I was speaking to earlier, that may have passed to another plane. Understand that there has been a shift, as I was speaking to, in that they have broadened their perspective, even those that were, because I'm hearing that some of them were very much in light. Okay, so when they were here, okay, so it's not as if, yeah, like whatever the belief is may not have been a bad belief. It could have been a belief that was used to protect you at that time, but you can let go of it if it's hindering you from following your heart space. Okay, because this card is really talking about spirit coming in and saying you are not alone. You are protected in the action that you want to move forward with. So those of you who are listening to this in your heart space wants to move you in a certain direction, certain opportunities are coming up for you, and you kind of like been sort of hesitating, but your heart is pulling you there. Spirit is saying you are protected to be able to move forward into that work, okay, or into that project or that connection or whatever it may be, okay? The other thing is that this card is about curiosity, and it talks about how this crow has found the opportunity to go in there and explore. And it speaks to, this card is saying this is a great time, an opportunity for you to discover what treasures you can find when you're brave enough to explore. Okay, this card asks you to open doors, look inside, analyze the situation. Okay, this is the time to dig in and do your research. Okay, it indicates that you're just scratching the surface. The possibilities are vaster, wider than you are currently seeing. All right, but you need to be inquisitive. You need to explore. You need to uncover those stones that are pulling you forward. All right, that's what this is saying. So this is talking about what your current situation is. And it's actually kind of a really lovely message here in terms of being able to move forward. I keep hearing, oops, sorry about that. I'm getting too excited. All right, there we go. Okay. I keep hearing, whatever you think has been unsuccessful, you need to forgive yourself for that and keep moving. Okay. Every time, if something is unsuccessful, those are the opportunities we learn from it. And then we're able to propel ourselves that much further, much quicker, because we've learned. Okay. So don't let something that you feel like was not unfolding, wasn't going the way that you want it to go, stop your curiosity, stop you from unturning the next stone, stop you from walking into the next door. Okay, beloveds, because this is what you are being asked to do. Okay. And right as I said that, the clock says 11111 on the timer. So, that is that. Okay, so that is the situation. And now we're going to look at what are your key lessons. We're just talking about your week. This one has been a little bit heavier than the other piles, I think. I mean, they've all been beautiful, but this one feels like it's going to be a transformative week for you. Okay, for pile 3. So now this is key lessons, and you've got the 9 of Wands. Okay. And the 3 of Swords. This is this heartbreak that I have been feeling, okay, throughout this reading. Whew. Okay, I've been feeling that heartbreak for you, loves. Okay, so you've got Metamorphosis. And the life of the party. Okay, all right. So let's dig into this here. So this is talking about your key lessons for how to maneuver through this week. Now, the first thing you've got here is that 9 of Wands. Now, it's interesting because in this deck, the 9 of Wands is really talking about boundaries. All right. And so based on what we were just talking about here, when you've got, I keep hitting this thing, sorry. When you've got something with your past that is stopping you from moving forward in some type of way, there's a need for you to set boundaries. Now, this boundary setting could be boundaries that you're setting for yourself. as well as setting for other people, for your work, for whatever it might be, okay? But there's a need to, the Nine of Wands talks about being burdened, but there's also an energy in the Nine of Wands that's like persevere, move forward, you're making progress, keep going, okay? Now, the thing about that is that this particular deck also speaks to taking some time to pause. Make sure that you're redistributing the burden, if you will, that you're not carrying all of those 9 wands by yourself, okay? So that you don't collapse, right? So there's this need of like getting some rest, reevaluating the situation on how to move things forward, all right? And setting boundaries. All right. Now, you've got this Three of Swords. The Three of Swords, is no other way to look at it, is just a heartbreak. It is a betrayal. It is a broken trust from someone. Okay. Now, this someone, because of what we saw earlier, could have been someone in your past, or this could be something present. And what I'm hearing is that it could very much be something present that is reminiscent or reminds you or brings up feelings of something that happened in the past. So therefore, the heartbreak that you're dealing with, which may be a betrayal of trust of some kind with either a partner, lover, or work, like a work partner or a collaborative partner or friend, we get heartbreak in a lot of different ways. So this is a general reading. So, but what I'm getting is that this heartbreak, train of thought. So what I'm getting is that this heartbreak is stronger right now because of its adjacency, if you will, or its similarity to past heartbreak. And so it's almost like a domino effect of layering on of heartbreak. So now we're talking about the key lessons for the week. All right. So the key lessons here we're saying is persevere, set boundaries for yourself for this week. Make sure that you take some time to set boundaries with yourself as well, to give yourself some rest, some pause, some time for reflection. Hold your heart. Okay. The thing about the Three of Swords, it's a hard card, all right? There's no other way to look at it, but the thing is that what it does is it's that moment when like you find out that someone that you loved had been cheating on you, or that your partner was embezzling, or stealing money from you, or it's just like that. It's a break of trust that it just goes to your core, like your core of your heart. Someone lied to you when you thought that they were being totally upfront. So, all of that can like fall into the heartbreak plane. But the thing about it is that it's painful as it is to say this, or as painful it is to experience this. The truth is that it is a moment of truth. It is a moment of clarity, because at least now they cheated on you, right? At least now there's no longer a fog, right? There's no longer a fog around like, oh, there's a break of trust here. There's something is not as it seems, and I am now clear on what it is, right? And so as painful as it also is an opportunity to begin to heal. As soon as you recognize this, as soon as you feel the heartbreak, it's in that moment that the healing begins. All right. And it's beautiful here because you've got the frog and the lotus, which is metamorphosis. And this card reminds us that change is natural and rebirth is possible. It talks about a healing balance that can be achieved. Okay. It talks about this idea of transforming, as the tadpole changes into the frog. Okay. The lotus is that flower that emerges from the muck, right? Okay, so there's an opportunity here that you can really embrace, Okay. And it's saying you owe it to yourself to allow your own growth and rebirth. All right. So your lesson for this week is that it's a time for rebirth, that you can heal, that you can move forward. Okay. That you can set boundaries in place. Right. This is what you need to move forward into this week and being mindful. Now it's interesting because you got this life of the party, and this card is like you are the life of the party, right? And so there's this sense, I feel what I'm getting from this card is this energy of, I don't know how to say this better. I was trying to think of a way to say it better, but I can't think of another way, which is basically fake it till you make it. Okay. There's this sense of, they talk about this idea of what you put out, like what's going on internally kind of shows up on the outside. Now, you all need to get some pause and some rest, and there's some healing that's happening. There's some boundaries that are in place, but there's also this sense of like cultivating a sense of celebration, cultivating a sense of being the life of the party so that you can begin to move yourself in the direction of that energy. All right. So that is what I'm getting around that card right there. So this is what we're seeing in terms of your key lessons, right? Be open to change, be open to joy, allow that to happen, but set your boundaries in place and know that you need to set boundaries with other people and with yourself, that you need to take rest. You need to look honestly at a situation, see the clarity of the event so that you can begin to heal from it and move yourself forward. All right. So that's what I have for that section. Now let's take a look at your final section of the reading, which is about what is your superpower to help support you through this week, as well as the guidance from Spirit. And your cards are, okay. You got the Queen of Wands, or Queen of Inspiration, and the Two of Materials, which is like the Two of Pentacles. Okay. So in terms of what your superpowers are for this week to help guide you through the week, the Queen of Wands, or the Queen of Inspiration, this is about tapping into your passion, tapping into your creativity, which kind of reminds me of this energy of the life of the party, right? But the thing about the Queen of Wands is that she's very determined. She moves forward. So your superpower for this week is about dipping into that fire, right? The wands represent fire, dipping into your internal fire, your internal creativity. If you are an artist of any kind, this is the week for you to tap into that. Allow yourself to heal through your art, whether that be through writing, dancing, singing, painting, drawing, whatever it is, okay? Whether you're a musician of some kind, allow yourself to be in that creative energy to help heal you as you continue to move forward, and also allow you to take advantage of new opportunities that are coming your way. Okay. The Queen of Wands is very purpose driven, very creative, very spontaneous, and very powerful. Okay. So you've got a real sense of power and passion that you can tap into as a superpower this week. Now, you've also got the Two of Materials, which is the Two of Pentacles, which talks about this need for harmony. It talks about having multiple things coming at you at one time and trying to figure out how to juggle all of the various opportunities, struggles, pain, joy, friends, people, colleagues that are coming at you at the same time, okay? But this card, if we're looking at it in terms of a superpower for this week, is saying that you have what you need to establish harmony. And I feel like for you, that is going to come from your setting boundaries, all right? The setting of boundaries with yourself and with others as you approach and move through this week. Now let's look at what the guidance is from Spirit. Oh, that's lovely. Okay. Oh, yes. Uncertainty. So, when we go through this period of change, any period of change, we're going to experience this sense of uncertainty. All right. And this card is about being caught in the briar patch. All right. It's about not moving forward when you are feeling stuck and sort of thrashing around. Because if you do that in the briar patch, you're just going to get yourself all cut up, right? So what's important for you to do is to acknowledge where you are, accept the truth, okay? Don't try to pretend like or assert that you're not stuck, okay? You're stuck. And so it's just like accept the truth, because the universe wants you to succeed. But it requires that you wait until the path is ready for you. So acknowledge the truth of the situation. Acknowledge the truth of any heartbreak, a break of trust, or anything that might be happening, all right? And wait until you have clear direction, and then slowly and methodically take action. Timing is everything. Let go of the struggle and you'll gain great rewards. So the main thing here is when it says wait until you have clear direction, that's also talking about your internal direction, right? Your intuition, when you know, okay, now it's time to move forward. Now I will be able to get out of the briar patch, if you will, okay? And so that is truly a beautiful message for you at this time. It's important for you to take a step back, just take a step back, recharge before you are able to move forward. And then this beautiful card, move forward. Experience the grace of who you truly are. And this really kind of takes me back to what we were talking about earlier there. There's such beauty in this card. And the message of the card says you are ready to move forward and manifest your ideas and plans. Let go of the need to be in control and become less rigid. It's necessary to have a vision and direction. And it's also important to be flexible in your approach in getting there. So go with the flow and you'll reach your destination in a far more relaxed state. All right. So your mantra with this card is, I am moving forward with the determination to realize my hopes and dreams. I do this with a deep certainty and inner knowing that I will reach every goal I set and will achieve every aim. So, beloveds, this is the message that I have for you all. This is a very beautiful reading. As I said, you had the dragonfly as like one of your superpowers. And the dragonfly, as I said before, represents this light, okay? Talks about the illusion and openness of the mind, and also this agility to be able to move and switch directions, okay? The dragonfly sees clearly, okay? Is joyful and magical. It just reminds me again of this life with a party. This is the energy that even if you're not 100% feeling it, beloved, you need to embody it, because you're going to bring more of it into you, okay? The dragonfly also talks about calming the mind. It's talking about thinking about your mind and your perception. And is it clear right now, or do you need to have some sort of meditative balance, calmness to help you to get a clear tap into your wisdom? All right. So your lessons, the dragonfly was sitting into that superpower, and I feel like the superpower part from the dragonfly is about the flexibility, and it is about sort of mastering the light of your mind. All right. So those are the messages that I have for you, pile 3. I hope this resonated with you and that you were able to gain something that will support you in having a joyfully abundant week. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel. If you have not yet subscribed, please click that subscribe button down there, and I will see you in your next reading. Okay, bye.